The late afternoon sun filtered through the oak trees of Meadowbrook Academy, casting gentle shadows across the manicured grounds. Robert Harrison adjusted his expensive watch as he walked toward the pickup area, his mind still occupied with the morning's board meeting. At 58, he had built an empire in technology, but lately, the demands of wealth had begun to feel heavier than the rewards. His daughter, Emma, 10 years old with blonde hair pulled back in neat pigtails, usually waited for him by the main entrance. Today, however, she was nowhere to be seen. Robert's driver, Thomas, pointed toward a large oak tree near the school's historic building. "There she is, sir, under the tree." Robert followed his gaze and paused. Emma sat cross-legged on the grass beside another girl, a young black girl with beautiful curly hair, wearing what appeared to be well-worn clothes with some stains on her light-colored sweater. The unknown girl was writing intently in a notebook, while Emma watched with rapt attention. As Robert approached, he could hear their conversation. "See, Emma? If you break the word down into smaller parts, it becomes easier," the girl was saying, her voice patient and kind. "Mathematics, each syllable has its own rhythm." Emma nodded eagerly. "Maya, you make it sound like music." Maya smiled, her face lighting up with genuine joy. "That's exactly right. Learning should feel like music. My grandmother always said, 'That knowledge is the one gift that grows when you share it.'" Robert stopped walking, struck by something in the girl's voice, a wisdom that seemed far beyond her years. He watched as Maya patiently guided Emma through what appeared to be a challenging homework problem, using gentle encouragement rather than frustration when Emma struggled. "I don't think I'm very smart," Emma said quietly, her confidence wavering. Maya set down her pencil and looked directly at Emma. "Intelligence isn't about getting things right the first time. It's about caring enough to keep trying. You have a beautiful mind, Emma. I can see it in the questions you ask." Robert felt something shift in his chest. When was the last time he had spoken to his daughter with such patience? When had he last taken the time to truly see her struggles rather than simply expecting results? "Maya!" a woman's voice called from across the grounds. "Time to go, sweetheart!" Both girls looked up. Maya's mother approached, walking slowly. She wore the uniform of the school's cleaning staff, and Robert noticed the careful way she moved, as if each step required extra effort. "Coming, Mama," Maya called back, then turned to Emma. "Same time tomorrow? We can work on those multiplication tables." "Really? You'd help me again?" Emma's face brightened. "Of course," Maya said, gathering her worn notebook. "Friends help friends. That's what my grandmother taught me." As Maya hugged Emma goodbye, Robert made a decision. He approached the two girls, his usual confidence replaced by something quieter, more genuine. "Excuse me," he said gently. "I'm Emma's father, Robert Harrison." Maya looked up with clear, intelligent eyes. "Hello, Mr. Harrison. I'm Maya Johnson. Emma is really smart. She just needs someone to believe in her." The simple statement hit Robert with unexpected force. Here was this young girl, perhaps 11 or 12, offering his daughter something he realized he had been too busy to provide: genuine belief in her potential. "Maya," he said carefully, "would you and your mother like to join Emma and me for dinner this evening? I'd like to thank you for your kindness." Maya's eyes widened, but before she could answer, her mother had reached them. Robert turned to face a woman with Maya's same intelligent eyes, though hers carried the weight of evident hardship and fatigue. "Mrs. Johnson? I'm Robert Harrison, Emma's father. Your daughter has been helping Emma with her studies, and I wondered if you both might join us for dinner tonight?" Mrs. Johnson's expression grew cautious. "That's very kind, Mr. Harrison, but we wouldn't want to impose." "Please," Robert said, and was surprised by the sincerity in his own voice. "It would be our honor." 2 hours later, the four of them sat in the quiet elegance of Robert's favorite restaurant. Robert had initially chosen it to impress, but watching Maya's wide-eyed wonder at the cloth napkins and crystal glasses, he realized he wanted something entirely different from this evening. "Maya," he said as they waited for their meals, "Emma tells me you want to be a teacher someday." Maya's face lit up. "Yes, sir, like my grandmother was. She always said that teaching is how we make tomorrow better than today." "Your grandmother sounds like a wise woman?" "She was," Maya said softly. "She passed last year, but I still carry her words with me." Robert felt his throat tighten. "I'm sorry for your loss." Mrs. Johnson reached over to squeeze Maya's hand. "My mother raised Maya while I worked 3 jobs," she explained quietly. "Maya spent every afternoon in her grandmother's classroom at the community center. By age 8, she was helping other children with their reading." "3 jobs?" Robert asked gently. Mrs. Johnson nodded, a slight flush coloring her cheeks. "Cleaning the school in the morning, the office building in the afternoon, and the diner most evenings. Maya does her homework while I work when she can. She's extraordinary. Mr. Harrison gets straight A's despite everything." Robert looked at Maya, who was helping Emma properly unfold her napkin, and felt something profound settle in his heart. "Mrs. Johnson, what would you say if I told you I'd like to help Maya with her education?" The conversation that followed changed everything. By the end of the evening, Robert had arranged for Maya to attend Meadowbrook Academy on a full scholarship. But more than that, he had offered Mrs. Johnson a position managing his household staff, a job that would allow her to work normal hours and be present for Maya's childhood. "Why?" Mrs. Johnson asked, tears in her eyes. "Why would you do this for us?" Robert looked at his daughter, who was showing Maya how to make shadow animals, with the candlelight, both girls giggling softly. "Because your daughter gave mine something I had forgotten how to give: patience, kindness, and belief. She reminded me what really matters." 6 months later, Robert stood in the same spot, under the oak tree, watching Emma and Maya work on their homework together. Both girls were thriving at Meadowbrook Academy, but more importantly, they had taught him about friendship, about seeing beyond surface differences, about the kind of wealth that truly mattered. Maya had kept her promise about helping Emma with mathematics. Emma's grades had improved dramatically, but more than that, her confidence had blossomed. She no longer saw herself as not smart, but as someone still learning, someone worthy of patience and encouragement. "Mr. Harrison?" Maya looked up from her notebook. "Thank you for believing in us." Robert smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest that no business success had ever provided. "Thank you, Maya, for teaching me how to be a better father and a better person." As the golden afternoon light filtered through the oak leaves, Robert understood that the greatest fortune he had ever gained was not measured in dollars, but in the simple wisdom of a young girl who knew that kindness, shared freely, multiplies beyond measure. Sometimes the most profound lessons come from the most unexpected teachers, and sometimes, when we open our hearts to others, we discover that in changing their lives, they change ours in ways we never imagined possible. The truest wealth, Robert had learned, was not what you accumulated, but what you gave away, and what you received in return when you opened your heart to the simple, transformative power of human kindness.